Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Lead Magnet Magic. It is called Should You Have More Than One Lead Magnet? Okay, so the answer is yes, but please stick around because I do want to explain. Picture, if you will, a sales funnel. Okay, it goes from big to little. Little at the bottom is your signature service, and big at the top is how people come into your world, how they start their customer journey. Okay, so as you can see, the coming into your world is the biggest part, and that is your lead magnets. So obviously, the bigger means more, right? So the sales funnel is basically three parts. The know part is biggest, the like part is in the middle, the trust part is at the end, and then after that is where your customers buy. So buying is your one signature service, and then if you go up from there, it is your like part. I had to do know, like, and trust in my brain. So the customers in your funnel start to like you by the nurture that you do. So one signature service, many emails, and then even more lead magnets. Okay. If you can't see me, my whole body is going up in a funnel position. I'm doing like the YMCA. Okay, anyway. So you want a lot of, not a lot. You want different ways that people can come into your world, and then you want to simplify your welcome email or your email nurturing. Then you want to present to them your signature service, and then you want them to buy. So, okay, my business, the CRM Fairy, has three pillars of what I teach, right? They include lead generation, lead organization, and lead nurture. So I do have a signature service called Aligned Lead Magnets, and that just means the lead magnet that you create with me or with the course is aligned to the rest of your business. And that means the lead magnet is aligned to your email sequences, to your signature service, all of the above, right? Okay, so some people come into my world because they want to generate leads, and I have a freebie or a lead magnet for that. Some people want the CRM part of things, and they like the lead organization, which means like how to segment their lists and all that stuff. So they come in through a different lead magnet. And then another subset still likes the lead nurture, which is the email marketing part of it all. So I have a lead magnet for that as well. But they all come into my world. They all get a similar welcome sequence, if not the same one. Um, and then they are all driven to my signature service. So it does make sense to have multiple lead magnets when you also have different pillars of your business. And many of us do. So your signature service um, might help different subsets of people do different things. So those are your pillars of your business. Um, and then, or even if you have different offers, different signature services, well, it wouldn't be a signature, different offers, different services that you provide, um, people would come into your world in a different way in order to get down that customer journey to those offers. Another reason different lead magnets might make sense is different awareness levels that your people have of you. So if they've been following you on social media for a while, but they're not yet on your list, they might know what you do and they want something more in depth from you, right? It's not just like join my newsletter list and get the same stuff you're getting on my social media. But it also, you might be putting out an ad to like Facebook or whatever. And then those people who've never seen you before need something more broad or like I don't know, something that allows them to get to know you before they like you and before they trust you. Right. So some people have different awareness levels of you and need a different lead magnet to get into your world. That is also similar to people having different identities that your audience cycles through. So they might be in a different stage of their business or their life or however they need you, whatever your signature offer is, they're in a different stage of needing that. So that's all about like your list segmentation and all of that stuff. Okay. When it doesn't make sense to have multiple lead magnets is when you think you need the latest thing. So this is a problem that I often see on Instagram, different ads, right? So if someone is telling you that something is dead, something doesn't work anymore, that usually means that they're selling you something different. So if people say blogging is dead, get my course to learn how to do YouTube. It's like, but blogging is not dead for some other people. So sometimes people get caught in the trap of like, nobody wants a PDF anymore for their lead magnet. You should really be making webinars. You should really be doing quizzes. But sometimes that's only because they're selling you a way to do that. So your brain might be telling you that you need the latest thing, but that's not necessarily true. Your current lead magnet might just need a little zhuzhing. Okay. I don't know what that hand motion was. Okay. It also doesn't make sense to add another lead magnet in if your list isn't ready. And that means the list that's within your CRM system. So if you just have one main email list, but you have people coming in through different parts of a sales funnel, different buckets, if you will, then your list isn't ready for that because you don't have segments. So you don't know how to nurture those people specifically. Sure, you can look at like their tags and things like that, but you should have automation set up in the background, in order to be ready when these different people come in. It also doesn't make sense to create a new lead magnet when it just feels like progress. So this might mean if you're just bored and you're like, well, I have an idea of a new PDF, let me do that. I am very guilty of this, because I'm an idea girl and I love to create new things all the time, thinking they'll be the next best thing, right? So I'm in the background creating things. It feels like progress in my business, but it's actually just a distraction. It's procrastination, and it's me not nurturing the lead magnet that actually exists already, in a way that makes sense for my business. So before you make another lead magnet, and I know you want to, I need you to ask yourself these questions. Does my current lead magnet do the job, or does it not work for my current business? So the business that you're sitting on right now might have evolved a little bit as time goes on, as you get better at what you're doing, as you think of who you want to be as a business owner and where you want your business to be going. You might have an old lead magnet that you loved, but maybe it does not do the job that it needs to for your current business. So really think about that. Think about if it's leading to like the signature service that is within your current business. Okay. You also need to ask yourself, am I ready to create, promote, and nurture a whole new customer journey? So this is again talking about, is your list ready for a new subset of people to come in? Are you ready to spend the time to create something great, to promote it, or are you promoting other things like your previous lead magnets and stuff like that, and your signature services? Um, and are you ready to nurture that whole new customer uh, subset? I keep saying that. um, into that sales funnel. So you got to know yourself a little bit here. And if you plan on creating something new, which I know you are, or tweaking something old to create it to be new again, um, ask yourself these questions. Will this lead my Cinderella client to their castle? And does this do more than change a pumpkin into a carriage? Now, if you have absolutely no idea what those two questions mean, then you have not watched my lead magnet, the Magic Pumpkin Method. So essentially, I talk about how your client is your Cinderella client. She's perfect. She's who you want to be with, um, in your business, in the customer journey. And your signature service is the castle. So that's her ultimate goal is to go from Cinderella to princess, whatever, right? But your lead magnet cannot do too much. So it needs to do the very first thing that your fairy godmother does, and or you as the fairy godmother does, and that is to change a pumpkin into a carriage. From there, she needs more things. She needs uh, a horse, she needs a driver, she needs the dress, she needs the shoes, etc., etc. It all builds, right? But your lead magnet cannot do too much because if you give her the carriage, the horse, the driver, the shoes, then she'll get overwhelmed, right? So your lead magnet is a magic pumpkin. It is the very first step in the customer journey. So if you want to watch more of that, it's like a super short video. You can scan this QR code or go to the link in the description and watch it. And from there, you could download a little worksheet that goes with it so you can think about the next lead magnet that you are making and if it's doing the right job. Um, and then again, I know I mentioned it before, but my signature service is aligned lead magnet. So if you're needing help with the lead generation, the lead organization, and the lead nurture all in one, that is what I do. That is my specialty. I'm the fairy godmother of your CRM system. So I would love to work with you there. That link is also in the description. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something. Leave a comment or find me on Instagram at the CRM Fairy if you have any questions. Thanks.